Hello. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining my channel with special guest, Mr. ODD himself. I just wanted to get a chance to hang out. I mean, it's been a while since I got a chance to talk with Matt, and a lot has happened since then. So I just wanted to get a chance to just catch up. So that's why I decided to do this live stream. He was gracious enough to say yes to my request, and here we are today. So what's up, Matt? What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just hanging out. I appreciate you having me on again. It's been, 3 years since the last time we did this?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because like you came on my channel when I had like no subscribers, and you just like yeah, man. And I always like look back at that like, man, this dude is not just someone who's talking the talk, but you're actually walking the walk, and you're really invested in this community and just, willing to put yourself out there. And I remember telling you like, man, that's not me. I'm not that kind of guy. But because of that, I have started to, branch out in those same areas where I'm like not where I'm comfortable, but just trying to get out there regardless. And so yeah, man, you lead by example. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool. And you got the skills with Photoshop. That's really one of the main things that it takes to do something like this. Really, in my opinion, I spend a lot of time Photoshopping, making cool thumbnails or whatever, like you got here for our stream. And yeah, man, so keep doing stuff like that. You could probably make a ton of cool memes. I don't know, do you make memes?
I do make memes, and then I end up, am I too hot? I feel like I'm too hot. No, I do make memes, but what happens with me is I think like, oh man, maybe I should save this for a video, like a thumbnail, and then I never use it. And then I'm like, so I have like a folder with all these memes, and I haven't even got around to ever using it. That what has been new since we've talked? I mean, a lot has happened. And I don't want to go like seriously too personal at all. This is just more of just me and you conversating. But like, what you been doing, man? What's like new in your life that has been taking up more of your time and stuff like that?
Well, I'm working on my second album, the follow-up to Never Sleep Again. It's called Never Sleep Again Part 2. Never Sleep Again. So every time I do that, it takes a lot of dedication and time and effort. So a lot of people that sub to me, they don't realize what's going on, and they think that I stopped making videos or that I'm just like doing music only now. But that's exactly what happened last time I made an album. And then I came back and I made video after video after video after video. And that's what I'm going to do this time. So for the past 10 months, been working on an album, 3 more songs and I'm done. And then I'm going to hammer out videos nonstop. But, not too much is new. I mean, I'm just trying to spread the truth. I still wake up every day like with my mind blown that the stuff is going on, that it is, even not just flat earth, but a lot to do with flat earth. I'm like, wow, we live on a flat plane, most likely enclosed by a dome.
Yeah.
And just the other stuff that they're doing to us, poisoning our food, the GMOs, the weather modification, everything. It just blows my mind. And some people kind of tick me off because they're always like, oh, this is old news, man. This is old news. I'll post something. Oh, that's old. It's like, there's no such thing as old news.
No.
And there's so many people that need to learn about this stuff. So it's never old to even post something that's basic to most truth seekers, because we need to keep on spreading these basic, factoids or facts and getting people on board. So that's basically what I'm here for. I don't care to get too advanced into stuff. I feel very comfortable explaining the basics of any conspiracy to people. So I'm always going to sit there, but I'm going to make a list of all the things I've never tackled before and just go ahead and start killing it, man, after I do this album.
Yeah, I would say that you're 100% on target with that. Like I the same way, where I wake up and I feel like what the hell is going on today? Like, there, you know what it is too, though? You have all this information we've been given, and at the same time, we have all this infighting amongst each other. And it's like, if we just step back and realize like we're all just trying to find out the truth and stop attacking each other, I mean, things would be a lot better. There's times when I take these long breaks from YouTube, especially like this genre of YouTube because it just gets, it's like the same old hat, like the arguments about um who's this guy, can you trust this guy's like, we all just have to do our own research and depend on the god-given gift of discernment, in a sense, to be able to dictate what's true and what's not. And if today we find out something we strongly believed, like the globe was a lie, then we change our minds. But we just really need to stop with all the arguments among each other and just kind of like understand we're all in different places, finding out different truth, finding out the same truth, but coming in from different angles. And it's like, that's the way I try to take it, you know?
That's what I'm saying, man. I have some really good Christian friends and really good, I guess, vegan friends, just in all walks of life and all lifestyles, people that really smash out truth and dig deep and find stuff. And I respect that. And I think it's super cool that everybody, what they bring to the table. And I don't care if I disagree with somebody. I could still be civil and cool with them. They could still be my friend. The way opposite, like if I have something that they don't disagree with, then automatically it's like enemies for life. That's what really has to stop. I think it's okay that we disagree. Just got to be cool with each other about it, like respect each other's stuff and, keep hammering away.
Yeah, and I'll say along with that, you're one of the things that I admire a lot about you is your open public walk with searching out the scriptures, something that many people still have a hard time doing. Like, it's either, like in my side, it's either you're a believer or you're not, but you're right in the middle where you're like, there's more to it than just not believing, because there's a lot of truth in there, but you're constantly searching. And I know a lot of people are influenced by you. And I know a lot of people are still hanging in there just because they see you walking it out. Like, just because you don't understand something doesn't mean you're completely discarding the whole Bible. I mean, I remember for myself, it came down to like, there were certain things I just couldn't grasp. And, that's where the whole faith thing comes in. And then look what we all thought the Bible was talking about a ball earth. And then we find out that the Bible doesn't talk about a ball earth. So it was like being open and ready to receive that. I see you in the same light where you don't 100% agree with what's going on in the scriptures. And it's just because it's not your time to fully get it, but you're still looking and you're still seeking and you're still, have this thirst and hunger that many people who so-called call themselves Christians don't even have. So, man, applause to you for just being open and public with it.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand it all. And I don't, it's like some people either take it, if they take one thing literally, then the whole thing has to be literal. If they take one thing, like as a parable or metaphorically or some sort of, like a symbolism for something else, like it's saying one thing, but it actually means another, then they think the whole Bible's like that. But I think it's a mixture of the two. It's like some of it's literal, some of it's symbolic, and I'm not sure which is which at all times. And I know there's a lot of truth in there, so I'll never disregard it completely.
Yeah, and it's the same. You said it perfect right there, where some stuff is literal and some stuff is not literal. And when the Bible talks about something that's literal, it kind of tells you it's literal. When it's telling you about a parable, it describes it as a parable and it tells you. So it's not like, I get it, man. I hear you, because there's a lot of people who are either way on this side or way on the other side, and it's like there's a blend of the two. Almost like what's going on with Bob and Jaron and everyone with this whole, is there a force or not a force? To me, I think it's both. It's both a force and not a force. And the only way I can make sense of it in my head is that each object or individual is the force that's creating the downward, whatever movement. Jaron has it right where up is up and down is down. Bob has it right by saying that there's something pulling, but it's you're the person, you're the object, or you throw an object, that you're the cause of the force. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it seems like magnetics has a lot to do with stuff, especially since we have static electricity running through our body and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I'm one to just say, hey, I weigh 170 pounds. I'm probably going to stay here on the ground, but, and I'm definitely up is up, down is down kind of guy. But um, yeah, when it comes to all that, what if I get in a debate, I definitely just say, how much do you weigh? Because somebody's like, what's gravity? I'm like, how much do you weigh?
Yeah.
And they
And
tell me how much they weigh, and I'm like, there you go. That's why you're heavier than the air. So
and
I
and that's one of the reasons why I say that it's like, yeah, each individual person, object is their own force because they're their own mass. So that's why it is what it is. But I don't want to get too crazy into that. But you did mention something about your weight. And man, you've had a transformation these last few months. You want to talk about that?
sure, I don't mind. I don't want to piss anybody off, I guess, but what it happens, I was vegan for 10 months. One of the reasons I went vegan was because of my weight. I was getting really fat. I was actually not working and I was only doing YouTube for 3 years straight. So I was sitting around eating at my computer desk all the time, never getting out. Um, so I became a vegan and I already had my job. I've just been working as a maintenance man for the past year and a half, and it's been good to me. But during the whole time I was working, I was doing a vegan thing, and it just at first it seemed like a miracle. I felt really great, like I cleansed or something, and I was like, I lost about 10 pounds, and then the weight stopped going, but I kept eating all the stuff I wanted to, using the bathroom 8 times a day. But the vegan stuff didn't work out for me after a while because I started feeling very low energy and I didn't have any motivation and I didn't have any will to do absolutely anything. I didn't want to go out anywhere. My friends would call me, invite me places. I would say no. I'd say, yeah, or I'd just ignore them. And then I slowly transitioned back into a normal diet and I still felt that low energy. I was eating meat again. I was eating dairy and stuff. I was doing all that. And I was like, still low energy. And then I found this guy who was a carnivore on YouTube named Frank Tufano or something. And I started listening to him and eating the stuff that he recommends, just mostly animal products. And then I started feeling really amazing and it hasn't stopped. It's been about 3 months now and I've lost 20 pounds and I always feel good. I always have energy. So it's weird, man. I did kind of have the moral character, to not eat animals or contribute to that. But, it is what it is. I feel much better doing it. So I'm just going to stick with it.
Yeah, and that's part of each person's walking their own walk and learning what works best for them. Not that, and I got to be careful because that almost sounds like, do as I will, but that's not what I'm talking about. Nowhere near what I'm talking about. But in cases where, look, you went from carnivore, right, to vegan, back to carnivore, you just had to understand how your body was going to react to each change, and now you found like a perfect balance, it seems, right?
Yeah. And so the thing about this carnivore diet is it's called the elimination diet. So you get rid of everything and you eat meat only for your protein and all that. And any dairy you want. You don't have to drink milk, but grass-fed cheese is really good, grass-fed butter. And I was doing all that. So I started adding stuff back into my diet. And the point is to find out what messes you up. And anytime I have a little bit of sugar, I feel like absolute crap for hours on end. So I've learned that, I can't imagine. I used to have sugar all the time. And I guess I was just so used to it, but you still you're beat up in there. You just don't realize what's going on or what's actually doing it to you. But when you do this elimination diet and you start introducing things back in, you find out what does your body dirty. So every time I eat something now that I haven't eaten in the past few months, I could just gauge it on how I feel after I eat that particular item.
That's pretty sick, man. That's like, dude, I need to get on something like that because your boy done gained too much weight, man. I used to be like 170 pounds, and then I stopped playing basketball and got a job and decided, time to live like a man and gain way too much weight. So
That's the
That
other
is
thing
pretty
about
cool.
this. This whole thing is about your body stopping the use of carbs for energy and transitioning to using the fat. Not only your body's fat, but like the fat that you eat. So it's okay to eat fats. You could eat fats off the meat. You could eat butter, cheese, all that stuff, and eggs. And your body will utilize. It'll get used to using fat for an energy source. Therefore, when it's out of food, it immediately transfers over to your fat on your body and starts using that, which is very hard to do when you're eating a highly carb based diet. So it's working for me, and I'm slowly introducing fruits and veggies back into my diet, trying to balance it out. But I'm gonna stay away from anything processed, and especially processed sugars.
That's very smart, and um, I'm I'm gonna look into that, man, because I know I need to get on just a more active life. Like yesterday, I played basketball for the first time in a couple years, and my God, am I so sore today? I feel like the oldest man in the world, and I'm only 36. So it's one of those things that my wife was like, "Well, you haven't done nothing," and the most I've done was like lift weights here and there, and I would lift weights and then stop lifting weights and then find an excuse to do. It was just like I just got to get back to being active, and then that hopefully that trickles down into my eating and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's awesome to see seeing like before and after pictures on Facebook of your transformation. Then you did a comparison when you were a vegan, and now when you're on this new like diet or whatever it is. But it's just amazing to see the transformation, man. I like you lost a lot of weight, man.
I lost all the unnecessary weight. I'm definitely not going to let it go overboard and be unhealthy, but I'm back to where I was before anything ever even started, like letting myself go. Before I let myself go, this is where I was, and I'm about 5 pounds away from that. So lose another 5 pounds and I'll be exactly where I want to be and where I want to stay. So then it's going to be tricky to try to figure out what I need to eat to stay at that weight and still have the energy that I do have.
That's dude, that's really, really amazing. Um, I know you have a few projects in the works. Like I just know your head. It's probably you got things. Anytime you have a creative person, there's always something in the back of the head that they're working on. Anything like that you want to talk about?
I guess I could share a few things. I don't really have any ideas for the rest of my album to wrap it up. I just have a few features. So I'm going to knock the features out one at a time. Just do a song with this guy, a song with this guy, song with Optimistic, and just get those out of the way and finish my album. But when I get back to the videos, a lot of people have always asked me to do something on 5G. So I think I'm going to start with that, get a 5G video out the way, and probably include tons of other things, anything to do with like AI and technology, like for instance, smart poles, weaponized airwaves, the Internet of Things, where everything is connected, and basically the way it's getting now with Alexa and your phone apps, and you could turn on everything in your house with the button on your phone or whatever it may be, or just ask Alexa. Fully automated systems and stuff like that, direct energy weapons, all this stuff ties in. So I'll probably start with the 5G and the electromagnetic frequencies and all that, and probably talk about orgonite and some of the things that you can do to counteract these vicious frequencies. But I'm going to knock that one out of the park. And then I got a couple movie things that I want to do. Have you ever seen Smallfoot?
Small.
Yeah, that's a flat Earth movie. You know what I'm saying? To the
Like he
maximum.
lives above, and then like the whole world, like it's like almost Antarctica with the clouds, the way it surrounds them. Yeah, that movie was crazy.
Yeah, and the elders, they won't tell them the truth about what's below the clouds. They say that they're just on the top of that mountain floating on a cloud and there's nothing below there. And that Smallfoot is a myth, kind of like in our world where we say Bigfoot is a myth and all that. So, but we're basically just like, if anyone's seen that movie, The Village, where they keep everybody in the middle of the woods in a village, and they say that there's monsters out there, but monsters turn out to be not what they were told, and it's all a lie. So this Smallfoot movie is like a kid's version of The Village, in my opinion. I want to cover that. I always think it's funny to be all serious and cover like a a little kids movie and be all super serious about it, have some, the music in the background and talking about it, because I did that with like Moana. So I haven't done it since then, but it's going to be fun. I want to do a Simpsons prediction list, everything that's ever came true in The Simpsons, and I'll spice it up with my own stuff because a lot of people have made that video, but they're not conspiracists like me. So, or
Yeah, you'll
I'm gonna
definitely
do,
have a better take on it.
yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'll do it in, in order of since The Simpsons was made, every single prediction they've had in chronological order. I like doing videos like that. Like that was like my 9/11 video where I showed every instance of 9/11
Dude,
predictive programming.
I share that video all the time.
That's
All
the
the time.
video. I love doing stuff like that. I got the Flat Earth in movies video where I spent weeks looking for every single Flat Earth reference in a movie, TV show, or an album.
And bro, you can make a part two because I know we're very similar in the sense that we watch a lot of movies and TV, and not just for the entertainment aspect, but we're looking for the what's being talked about, and like the whole truth in plain sight type thing. And dude,
Yeah.
I've come across TV shows showing flat Earth imagery, and I'm talking about like literal flat Earth imagery. Another popular show that I came across a couple weeks ago, uh, watching an episode, and they were discussing flat Earth. Even if for like a split second, it was still like this thing is big, bigger than I think that they realize when um when it came out, right? When this whole aspect of flat Earth became what it is today, which is mainstream now. Like when we were first introduced to it, this was a smaller subject. Like it was still like you couldn't just talk to anybody off the street about it. Like it seems like now everyone knows. I had a conversation today with a client of mine. I went to cut his hair, and he started talking about NASA. And he was like, yeah, I went to Kennedy Space Center. For you guys that don't know, I live in Florida. So Kennedy Space Center is maybe 3.5 hours, 4 hours, maybe 2.5, I think, hours away. And the funny thing is, when he said that, my son's school was taking them on a field trip, which obviously I didn't allow him to go. And he didn't want to go either because he knows what's up. And it was to go to Kennedy Space Center. And it's like, that was just part of the indoctrination. So he started talking about that. And I just started like, bro, stop. I don't want to hear it. That place is, and I've never talked flat Earth to this dude whatsoever. And as I started to share with him, and then like, I didn't say the words flat Earth, but part of in the conversation, I started talking about proofs and stuff to, how NASA lies to us, how all this stuff, how water is always finds its level. He goes, yeah, that's why there's so many flat earthers. But he wasn't saying it in a mocking way. He was just saying it like, yeah, all those proofs you're describing make sense why there's so many flat earthers. And I go, well, yeah, duh. I was like, because when you actually look into what we believe, and I just went into a whole spiel. And at the end, I was like, you need to watch this video, Stranger's Guide to 21 Questions. Call me after you watch it. And he goes, dude, I'll love to watch that. And now I was like, by the way, I have that guy coming on my channel tonight, so I'll let you see that video afterwards. And he was all pumped up, bro. He sent me a text and was like, I can't believe this. I'm about to watch some flat Earth stuff. I'm like, I told you, bro. It's crazy when you actually take the time to look into it.
I know. And we're all here on YouTube and our social medias with other people that are like-minded. So it feels normal. But you go outside and you say something like that to someone, and the look in their eye, you can tell if they've ever heard of it or not off the first reaction. And it happens to me all the time. And I'm just like, no, seriously, it's changed my life. Check it out. I give them a card. And, most people seem like, for some reason, when they talk to me, they seem respectful and like non-ridicule the people I choose to talk to. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's always perfect. I'm sure when I walk off, they're like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking nutcase. Case, you know what I mean?
I would say no, because I was thinking the same, but for as many people that I talk to it now, I'm not like an activist where I'm just like going out there and today this is what I want to make sure I talk about. It's more like as the flow of the conversation happens, kind of like what happened with me today. But by the way, if you do listen to this, shout out to you, Ben. But like kind of how the flow goes, like sometimes it just like like the opportunity just presents itself, and it's like you said, there's not as many like side eye. There's a lot more people willing to listen. And like I was telling you earlier, how I left my other job and I started closer to my house, and I'm working in this new place. And one of the first things that came to my head was like, I want to introduce this to these guys. You know, I have a whole new audience here. I want to introduce them. And the owner of the shop, I'm not close with him, but like we know of each other before I started working there, and we were cool. We would talk geek stuff. We would talk cameras and tech stuff here and there. And he friended me on Facebook, and I was kind of like hesitant, like, you know, damn, I'm just starting this job. This dude's going to start seeing what I post on Facebook. I was like, should I wait? Or I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm not going to hide who I am. I just accepted friend. And then one day the conversation about flat Earth came to topic because I was listening to a video, and one of the barbers comes up to me. He's like, what do you listen to? I was like, some flat Earth material. And he was like, what? So naturally his response was like, what are you talking about, bro? I was like, yeah, man. Didn't you know the earth was flat, man? And he was like, dude, you sound ridiculous. And he walked away. And when he walked away, somebody said, what happened? He goes, man, Carlos over here listening to some flat earth stuff. Bro, that sparked the whole shop having a conversation. And Perfect. The owner looked at me. Yeah, the owner looked at me like, yeah, Carlos can school you on this stuff. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I've seen some of your stuff. He's like, talk to him. I was like, all right. So I wish I had a camera just to like record that whole aspect. But clients were getting involved, and they were like, there was a discussion, but it was all pro flat earth. It was all like in favor for it. And I was just like blown away how many people were no longer just like, I don't want to hear it, you're an idiot. More like, wow, I heard people talking about this before, and some of the stuff that you're saying actually makes sense. Let me hear more. And it was like a different experience than a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. That's what I'm talking about. I was at the Tech 9 show last Friday, one of these couple Fridays ago. And every time there was a break between the sets of the opening acts, like they would stop and they'd set up the stage for the next act. So the music would go low enough to talk to people, and I was just chatting away with everybody about flat earth. I just couldn't help it. Most people are like, why do you always start with flat earth, man? Start with something else. And I always just go straight for it. Straight for the jugular with flat earth. So everybody in there, nobody was able to comprehend it at the moment. And I get it. It's a Tech 9 show, but yeah, it just seemed so surreal. I was all stoked about it, trying to tell everybody, and you just watch their eyes glaze over and just looking at you like a Walking Dead. You're like, okay. But nobody ever got all pissed off and disrespectful, which is cool. I always like that because it does happen sometimes. That's why I carry mace everywhere I go.
It's true. It does happen, but I'll say like it's definitely changed the outlook in the aspect of just because like I know you're talking to a lot of people and you're running into people. I see you drop your card next to globes and stuff, which is hilarious. I love that. But yeah, it's like one of those things where I just think the conversation no longer is a scary conversation. It's one of those things that people are willing to hear, even if it's just for a few minutes. Like just planting that small seed now, it's like a lot easier than it was before. Even though I can't really say go research it no more. It's harder because you have to send them direct links to these videos because you know how YouTube now is completely hiding the truth, and they're hiding the truth, but at the same time they're not hiding the truth. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the videos are still up, right?
They know they can't do that. If they get rid of all the videos in one foul swoop and it's just completely banned, then they know that we win. We win way more people going, why can't these guys? There must be something to this. So they did it slick, and they just make it to where none of the videos are recommended. Hardly of any of the videos pop up. You could search the exact title of one of my videos. It won't pop up until you're clearly way down the row super far down, and then finally you see my video, nobody's ever going to make it down there. It's going to be very unlikely that someone gets down that far. So yeah, they did it slick, and that's the way they have to do it, and they have to do it slowly, because it slowly will get to the point where we can't talk about this, and that's really sad.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly the frame of thought I was going to, is which is they're trying to control how much is being produced, because before it was a free for all, right? And the numbers just kept growing and growing and growing. And now, like I said, I'm hearing on TV shows, like these are like huge mainstream shows, you know, that we wouldn't have these conversations before. They wouldn't even be talking about or mention it. Like one of the shows, they go, yeah, it's making a comeback, like Flat Earth. That was exactly what the guy said on the show. And it's like, yeah, it is, because that's how mainstream. This is something that was written at least a year and a half ago before it was put on TV, you know. So it's getting out there on a bigger scale than I ever thought, you know, going into it, because it's something this big and this, you know, life changing.
They waited too long, man, in my opinion, if they wanted to save themselves. But because now the word of mouth is more powerful than YouTube, and so many people know about it already before they started censoring the videos, that they can't control it now. There's people out there every day doing activism in the streets, talking to their friends and family, like personally. It doesn't have to be YouTube anymore. And since so many people know my name, Eric Dubé, Jaronism, your name, whoever it may be, they're going to turn on their videos for their loved ones and share them with them, because their loved ones wouldn't stand a chance finding those videos nowadays. So it's too late. Yep. Word of mouth.
Yep. We're hitting that nail on the head. 100%, man. They don't realize, like, it is too late for them, because it is, and you know, as much as they're trying to control with the whole net neutrality thing and those aspects of it, you know, being in the whole tech side of things, and like you were mentioning a video on how like you have like the Alexas and stuff, and I've talked about this before, how you have Alexa, you have Google Assistant, you have Cortana, you have all these AIs, right? That
D-Wave, yeah,
they're literally programming us to have the personal assistant, you know, they're ready to answer all our questions, you know, and it's like not only that, but the fact that you can just say the name and it responds, that tells you how much they're always listening, you know what I mean? And then it's like how easy it is to have a camera now in your in your house. They're so affordable, and they introduce it like it's this grand thing that it's gonna save your life. Like, oh, so you can access what the weather is. Like, really? I mean, I love tech, but there's certain things that I'm not willing to do yet. You know what I mean? Because it's just not smart, you know? And yeah, I these are kind of videos that I have in mind, and I never end up doing anything with it. But yeah, I hope you get on it, man, because I know you would definitely go way more in depth with it, and it'll be a hell of a video to make. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's always fun. Every time I do a video, I always make sure to include movie references. So it's just my thing. So I'm going to find a lot of movies that have to do with it, and I'm going to play those and some, you know, specific parts that are daunting or something, and just go ham with it. But yeah, like you were just saying, how we have all this stuff is they make it seem like we want this stuff. They can't impose on our free will. So they have to make us want it. So we accept these things into our homes. We take away our own privacy.
Yep.
And it's just horrible what's going on. But yeah, I mean, and none of us, you know, really are innocent of it. Even if you just have a cell phone, simple cell phone,
yeah,
you're already they could turn on your camera if they want to. They could turn on your mic if they want to, depending. And they secretly, and I can't prove this, but you know, I'm sure it's like certain apps, like the most popular apps, of course, right?
Yeah.
So you got the most popular app. When you accept that app onto your phone, you have to agree to all these little
terms
things,
and conditions, yeah.
Terms and conditions that make it to where they can turn on your mic or your camera. You don't think about this stuff, but they can. If they want to, they'll just use that app.
Yeah, and some of them straight up tell you, like, you're giving us permission to access your photo and media. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. And then the apps that I try to stay away, there's some of them that's hard. We live in this world, right? But some of them are like, they don't work unless you have locations on. And that's like, come on, how much more suspicious is that? Like, they want to know exactly where you're at all times using this app. And if you don't put in your location, then you can't really utilize the app the right way. So it's a fine line. Like you definitely giving up in order to use this stuff. You just got to weigh the benefits of, is this worth it today? Because tomorrow might not be.
I'm out here nowadays. I used to be really fearful of all this stuff, but people know my name now. People know who I am. I'm concerned about my safety sometimes. I'm not always like going around all paranoid claiming they're after me because I don't see any signs, but I just I want to put myself out there enough to let people know that I'm a happy person. I'll be personal with people. I'm like, here's how I'm living. This is my job, whatever, the way I'm doing it on Facebook or Twitter or wherever it may be. But I just want to be out there in case something happens to me now, because it's going to be very obvious if it does. So I kind of just don't care anymore, just because of how far my name has gotten out there and how many people know who I am. It's like, might as well just let everybody in on all the business in case something happens to me.
Now, speaking of that, like, did you ever see this kind of happening where you're one of the guys, right, in this genre, this movement, whatever we want to call it, this truther, like in the whole truther community, I don't think there's a single person who doesn't know who you are at this point, right? Like, I've heard that what is that guy's name? See, I don't even keep up that much to know his Owen Benjamin. I heard he's a huge fan of your work.
Yeah. I've heard actually people have sent me the clips with the timestamps and stuff, and I've heard what he said about me, and I think that's awesome. I thought it was weird because just at the beginning of the year, suddenly he just started popping up on my feed, just one at a time, one video over here in the corner, then two videos in the corner, and then till the whole side screen was filled with Owen Benjamin, and every single video on my recommendation was Owen Benjamin. He was just taking over. I see what he did. He's great at marketing. I can't knock him for that. But yeah, I think he's got a good mind. He says a lot of great things. I agree with him most of the time, and I wouldn't mind talking to him sometime.
Have you ever thought about reaching out to him?
I will. I'm a little too, I don't know. I consider myself a little busy right now because I work and then I come home and I write raps and make beats, and I'm constantly trying to get this album cover created, somebody to draw me an album cover. So I got like 3 guys drawing up my album cover. I'm going to pick which one I'm going to use. I'm just busy with all that kind of stuff right now, but I always just take it one step at a time. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'm going to start tying up loose ends and things that I've told people that I was going to do, and do that and catch up on things that I've just kind of, haven't been able to do. I just really like to go ham on the thing that I'm concerned about at the moment. So nothing's happening until I finish my album.
Yeah, that's good. And it was like that when you released about a year or so ago. You dove deep into that, man, and that album was awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to this next one. And some of the tracks that some of those are already released, right? Those ones you've been releasing here.
Oh, I always put them out. They're free. They're always going to be free. And I just put out the album after I'm done, but I like to put out the song when it's finished. I don't have any concern. I don't work for a record company. I could do whatever the hell I want with my music. So as soon as the song's finished, it's uploaded. It's available to download for free. And after I release the album, it remains that way. It's the person's choice to, if they want a physical copy or a digital copy, they can buy it. They could support a brother. But for the most part, I don't want to have a career doing what I love, because as soon as something that I like turns into a job, because it's happened before, I start to not like it anymore. So that started happening with YouTube.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, that's one of the things I was saying earlier, how I sometimes just have to take a step back. I ended up doing like a gaming channel, man, just because, growing up, I was huge into games. And then it was just like, it's not that I fell in love, but this consumed me. And it gets to a place where it just gets very, just weighs on you a lot. It just gets really heavy. So it's like, I got to take a step back and just, remember why life is good, and just, enjoy the little moments again. So I started a
Yes.
gaming channel, and I was just like, who cares how many people I get subscribed to, but I'm just having fun again. And what that's doing is get my creativity going again. And that's why I was like, once I moved into this new house, I was like, I want to make sure I could start doing videos again. And one of the first things I wanted to do was reach out to you, because I was like, man, I haven't talked to him in a long time, like this, in this format. We've talked here and there, but in this format, it's been a long time. So it was just like, I just want to catch up. And I know a ton of people who are just so invested into your life, man, that they just, it's like, dude, you could leave for 3 months, come back, and bro, it's like you never left. People just love you that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really awesome, man. It's just unbelievable the support I receive. I'm very thankful for that. So that's the only reason I continue on, really. People tell me all the time I woke them up, and I'm like, yeah, cool. Somebody else woke me up. I have that same appreciation for that person. I get it. So it is awesome. But my main goal is just to have enough people aware of what's going on by the time something comes that is going to be really strong against us. We're going to need as many people as we can, and that's all I want to do is wake people up, man, really.
What is an advice you would give to someone who wanted to start up a channel and had some form of creativity to do? What would be a few things that you would try to point them in the right direction?
um I don't know. Just to be real, I guess I would tell them how I make videos, which is a very easy format and very effective. I write a script, I read it into the mic, I edit my audio, and then I throw that audio into a video editor, and then I already have this perfected audio track. So all I got to do is add pictures as I listen to it. Very simple, works great, comes out good each time. Keep your videos in at least 720p. Learn Photoshop. It's going to be one of your biggest things that you go to.
Amen to that. Yep.
Yeah. So when you want to make a thumbnail, or you want to make even like your own quote, or you want to make the words, on the screen to say something, to convey whatever you're saying. Some people make videos where they only use words, text. So you have to read the whole video, but it's because they have a program that they could type that stuff into. You're going to be doing that often. You're going to be wanting to edit photographs, make diagrams, or whatever it may be. Like I had a NASA timeline on one of my videos called Disney Presents NASA on Thin Ice, and I made a timeline of everything I could figure from the time that NACA started and then turned into NASA, and then Antarctic Treaty. But just basic, like real tips like that. But the main thing is that there's a tutorial on absolutely everything. If you don't know something, just try to word it the best you can in a question form, like, how do I do this? And then you'll find
YouTube.
You'll find tons of people that'll help you out. And I've learned all that stuff self-taught over the years using that method.
Yeah, I'm in the same. And one of the things I think I'm going to do now that I'm going to try to start producing more content is help out in that arena. Like, hey, here's a couple budget friendly microphones you might be interested in. Here's some editing tips. I might add that into this channel, just because, at least you're hearing it from one of your own, right? Rather than some dude who's asleep and just like, here's this guy. I'll try to implement that too, because I know a lot of people have questions on OBS. A lot of people have questions on just how to edit a simple thing, how to find a good editor, those little things. And believe it or not, even though who knows what this audio sounds like audio to me is a huge part of video editing. It's like, to me, it's 80% of the video over visuals, because someone can have terrible visuals, but if they have at least a good sound, like, you can listen to it all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorite things to mess with. Plus, there's cool effects, like just simple things that you do to your video to make it pop, and even if it's a 1 second part of an audio where you switch it and it has an echo, like it's small things make a big difference in videos and video production. So I like to be as creative as possible. I tell this story all the time, but when I was a kid, my favorite thing was movies, and I always wanted to own, like I was like, when I get older, I'm going to own my own video rental store, like a Blockbuster, and like so much for that, because there's like don't even exist anymore. But I was just so into movies that, so anyway, when I found out about YouTube, I was like, well, this could be my opportunity to make my own little films.
Yeah.
So I use it like for that. Like, and when I make a little documentary, I go as hard as I can to make it like a super professional mini doc. And I'm not saying they're the best, but I put all my effort into it. So it just is what it is.
They're the best.
I try my best to have high quality content, and I was like, this is what I would do if I worked at, say, a production company in Hollywood or something. I would put all my effort, like if I was an editor. But it's cool. It's like, being a one-man army and doing absolutely everything, you get to learn it all. And I've just had so much fun. It's a blast, actually. I have a lot of people asking me how to do it, and I always give them the tips that I just said.
Yeah, it's key, and what most people don't realize how easy it is compared to how it was, before YouTube. Before YouTube, like it was a bigger ordeal. Now YouTube has created, they've created young kids growing up in a world where they're learning how to edit. And the cool thing about that is they don't realize how that's hurting them in the long run, because you have all these kids want to be the next big vlogger or the next big video producer of whatever genre, tech, or whatever. But it's what happened with me. I had a tech channel for many years prior to coming into this truth, and the knowledge that I gained from that and producing those videos and making thumbnails and learning what an image is compared to a photo, and learning a camera and how to work it and understanding the difference, nuances between the ISO and shutter speed and all this different stuff that goes over people's head. The reason why I learned all that stuff, I had no clue what it was going to lead me to later on, but having all that knowledge, I was able to apply it into what I was listening and learning about what the nature of our earth was, because I started saying, you're right, that isn't a photo, that is an image, that is CGI. Wait, what? No, wait, that's not how a camera works. That's a fisheye lens. I was able to apply that. And the same thing is what I think is happening today. All these kids are learning all these same steps, and then come your videos or Glowbusters or whoever else is out there is producing good content is able to present this stuff, and they're able to say that is truth. And that's a huge thing that I don't think that most people realize is hurting that big machine that's run around trying to make us look at beauty videos and stuff like that. Even those people are starting to see the truth, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good point. The flat earth stuff is like something the heliocentric model, I went through my whole life never second guessing it, because I never thought about it. I just thought it, since I was first told it as a little kid, I just was like, okay, that must be it. And scientists have already verified this. I don't have to do any work. So I never thought about it, never cared. Mindlessly drifted through life, not worried about it. When it finally popped up, I had a little cognitive dissonance. And I just kept stuck with it and kept looking at it, And I was like, this makes so much sense, but why does the sun go down? And I didn't understand the perspective part of things yet. I kept looking at it, and it just became so powerful, and it engulfed my life, almost like a bad obsession at first. Like, to be honest, I was just so obsessed with it that I wouldn't even, I don't know, like I made my friends and family uncomfortable just because that's all I cared about. And
yeah,
and then it slowly changed me into a better person, as far as I can tell. I just wanted the best for everything and everybody, and to know that we're created and that we are unique and special, and that this place was made for us. It's very powerful if you sit and think about it. You got to really ponder it. Some people are like, oh, it doesn't matter, I got to go to work tomorrow. It's like, yeah, but you're special. You could go to work knowing that you were created, and this place was created for you. And that, I don't know, it's a life-changing thing. It's really, it's been good for me.
It's definitely very humbling to come to that conclusion. And I think you said it like how a lot of us felt, and we're responding to this. At first you kind of, shrug it off as how dumb is this, but once you finally, not just accept it, but see the truth of it, you understand, like, man, like, this is amazing, and it really can change somebody. And you are evidence. I said that before earlier on this video, that you are evident of someone who his life has been changed by this, that your constant seeking of the truth, no matter where it takes you, it's not something that a lot of people are willing to do. And again, I applaud you for that, because it just, from the outside looking in, I'm looking at you and saying, this guy's a hell of an example for a lot of young people out there who are learning the truth and are coming to understanding and how it's going to affect you in so many ways. That's why for the generation this generation that we're in, who are in the beginning of this so-called, awakening, which I 100% believe that this is one of the times that the Bible was talking about for knowledge will increase. And, and this is a knowledge that has increased us in so many different levels. Like, who would ever have told me I was going to learn, what 8 inches per mile ever even meant, or, actual science, right? Like, so much stuff has been coming out in these last couple of years that has increased us. Like, you get into a conversation with someone who believes in the globe and they don't even understand their own model. Yet you have all this knowledge to defend what you actually believe, because the other side, because you used to be in that side. It's like, it's one of those things that this is life changing. And it's not just life changing because because you make videos. It's because you live in it and you're seeing it, the results. I'm sure you get testimony after testimony on how you've changed people's lives. And I know it probably makes you embarrassed, like, man, I'm just a guy, but you're being used in a greater scale that I think you even know. So keep riding it out, man, because you're waking up a lot of people, and you're getting the opportunity to impact so many people's lives, and you're allowing yourself to be that voice in this place that's really dark at times.
This is how it's supposed to go. This guy named Truth Media Revolution, in my opinion, he's like a legendary truth seeker. And over the years, he's just kind of died down to the point where he doesn't really care. He puts out stuff sometimes, but at one point he was the man. Red Pill Revolution. Yeah. Then he changed his name to Truth Media Revolution. Some of you guys may be familiar with him, but he woke me up to shooting hoaxes in 2013. After Sandy Hook, he really tore that one apart, and the Dark Knight shooting and all that stuff. So I was before Flat Earth, just waking up to all that. So then I started looking at everybody else and finding all these crazy things, transhumanism on Nicholson 1968's channel, or just whatever it may be, chemtrails, all this stuff. So I just hammered away. And then when I got caught up in the movie symbolism thing and learning how people throw up they cover one eye, or they throw up the 666 hand gesture over one eye, and it's always in Hollywood, and all the symbolism we see in movies. But anyway, we finally got to the point where, Flat Earth was coming in, and the first videos I saw was Mark Sargent's clues, and he wasn't hard hitting enough. It's stuff that gets you thinking, yeah, but it's not hard hitting facts like I like. So after I watched a Mark Sargent video or two, finally I started getting recommended Eric Dubay interviews. Yeah. And then Eric Dubay woke me up to Flat Earth, and then I start talking about Flat Earth, and then I wake up this guy, and this guy starts doing it, and he wakes up that guy, and that's what it's all about. That's my main point about that whole thing.
No, that's how it is. That's exactly how it is, where it's a trickle effect. Even if it's a slow trickle effect, look where it is now, to the point where, you're impacting so many people's lives because somebody helped wake you up to, one truth, which led to another truth, which led to this. And, now, Flat Earth is one of those truths that makes sense and then debunks other so-called conspiracies. Like, once you get this one, there's a lot that just like, oh wait, I don't even have to pay attention to this one no more, because it doesn't even fit in this paradigm no more, because this has completely demolished the whole alien agenda coming from different planets. Like, and we know that because that's the one they're pushing the most, you know?
Yeah, that's one of my another thing I'm gonna tackle because I just got we just had our 4 day weekend. Over the 4 day weekend, I watched a bunch of movies just chilling around the house. I watched this Occupation. I'm sure a lot of you guys seen it on Netflix. It was like I think it was Australian. It took place in Australia or something. Occupation, the aliens come and occupy Australia.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what it was. But anyway, so I come home from work today and I look on my, every day I check for new movies so I can add them to my collection. And the top movie for rarbg.com, one of my favorite websites for movies, is called Captive State, and it's an
I've been waiting to see that movie. It
came out today. So alien invasion movie, and that sparked my I was like, yep, I'm making a video about this. Like, not the movie, but all the movies, all the programming, all the BS that they're feeding us with this alien stuff, man. So
Dude, I'm looking forward to that because that movie has been in crappy quality, and I've been waiting for a while for this thing to actually come out. And so I'm excited. I might go check that out later on. That is the movie I've been wanting to see, because it's like, look, even in the title, Captive State, man, it's crazy.
Captive State.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, it's a multi-layered meaning for that, for sure. You're captive in your your mind state, like literally enslaved. I mean, if they really pull off this Project Bluebeam, which they more than have enough technology now to go ahead and do something like that. With the voice of God technology, they can beam voices directly into your skull. And this is a patented technology you can find on Google. Just look up voice to skull. And then there's all the holographic projections. So with the mixture of those two and probably a few other added things, maybe real black budget technology that they've been building in underground for a long time, because I don't think it's just all going to be fake projections. They're probably going to pull out the big guns and have some crazy crafts that they built themselves that we haven't even known at all that they've been working on, stuff like that. So all I can see is the UN coming in and saying we need to band together all our governments, and then the one world order is in full effect.
Yeah. Dude, and that's why, I love when we find these things in these movies, because it's like, that's where they're talking to us. They're not talking to us on TV, through this newscaster or whatnot. Like, they're talking to us through these movies and TV shows where they're hinting at their plan. They're hinting at truth that's in plain sight. And it's guys like yourself and me and others, many others, who, we've been given the tools to be able to decode this stuff. And I remember my wife would tell me all the time, we would watch movies and she'd be like, how do you know this? And and it's like, there's a format that they follow. And once you understand that format, you can decode the rest. It's like, and I don't know why that's a gift. I didn't know at the time, but now I understand. We've been given this gift in order to give, but we've been given this gift in order to, help others see, the lies and in the truth that's right in front of us. That's all done in an entertainment fashion. So
yeah, I have a few thoughts on why they do it the way they do it and things like that. But and most people see the same things. But basically, they put stuff in movies. So when you're talking about it to somebody trying to say it's real, somebody's just going to say, "Oh, that was just a movie, bro." And then, like I said earlier, something that I believe is they can't impose on your free will. So they have to kind of get the blood off their hands by sharing these things with the public somehow. So the media is their biggest tool for doing that. And even when it comes to every genre of a movie, they use sci-fi. Sci-fi is used to blur the lines between reality and unreality. And then they use horror movies to desensitize people to violence. And they use comedy to dumb people down. And they use drama. Just everything has a very specific purpose. And there's multi-genre movies that are a little bit of everything. But everything has a specific purpose, and I've been mapping it out for years. And one day I'm just going to knock it out of the park with a nice video about all that and the Tavistock Institute. of the people that are responsible for engineering society. I want to definitely tackle them. I haven't done it yet, and that's one of my biggest areas of research since I've started researching. So the fact that I haven't even made a video about it yet, I mean, I just really like to put a lot of time into my research and feel I want to be able to recite everything without looking at a piece of paper before I'm comfortable enough, like, going ahead and making videos. I just want, like, if somebody talks to me in public, I don't need any references or anything to look at. I could just explain it all right off of the dome.
Yeah.
But that's where I like to get before I do anything. So it's been years. So this is going to be a good one when I finally get there.
I agree. I want to be in that same boat where I'm just like able to just, and sometimes it's funny, sometimes that does happen. Like something slips in the back of my head and I'm just talking to somebody and it's like, boom, all of a sudden, oh yeah, and here's this point. And it's like, man, I don't even remember how I remembered that, but thank the Lord. I think he was helping me out on that one. So yeah, it's going to be, you know, it, big things are ahead for you. I see, just on the stuff that you're talking about and, where you're at with everything and, how vocal you are on some of these subjects. And everybody's doing a really good job. I think that a lot more people, my only concern is I think a lot more people have to stop absorbing and start actually applying what you're hearing and actually, start being a voice and not just someone who listens on a daily basis, but being a voice, because that's what's going to help at the same time. And it's going to help them out. It's uncomfortable in the beginning, but once you take a leap of faith, really, you see how much richer your life becomes because you definitely feel like now you're serving another purpose, like a purpose that you were meant for, not just to be sleepwalking through life, just absorbing these movies. Like, yeah, I enjoy going to a movie for entertainment, but at the same time, I'm not allowing it to affect me the same way that it's affecting the guy who's sitting next to me, where he's just like, oh my God, Star Wars space, it's going to be amazing when we king him up with these aliens. It's like, nah, I'm not seeing all that. I'm seeing the lies and deception, but at the same time, I can enjoy myself and not have to be totally bought into this system anymore. I can enjoy myself because I know the truth. And that's one of those things that took me a while to realize. Like, it used to be, I didn't want to be a part of none of that. Now I'm allowing myself to go to these movies, not just for entertainment, but again, you're going there having another tool in your belt to not be programmed. I mean? I'm not affected the way I used to be when I was bought into, Apollo 13 or whatever. It was like I was on my top 5 movies of all time. Now I can't stand that movie because of how far they went to produce this lie, but again, going to see something like Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm not affected by it because I'm in a different place now.
Yeah, and it's okay. Like, I have a lot of people that get upset with me. They're like, you watch this garbage, cut the cord, trash your TV. And it's like, I get it, but that's the whole reason I started my channel in the first place. So I'm going to stick with my guns, man. And, I watch TV so you don't have to. I always watch it critically, and I'm always going to examine it for the symbolism and the mind control techniques. And I'm going to try to convey that in any video I make and teach other people how to, be immune to it, because that's pretty much what happens. Once you learn that it's there, they can't get you anymore.
Exactly. And that's the whole point, is that if you can learn this stuff, like, those same people who are criticizing you about, oh, why are you watching that? They're the first ones to probably click on your video to watch what you are putting out about these movies. So it's like, you don't really understand what you're saying, because I'm going to enjoy this movie, but then I'm going to do the research behind the movie so that I can expose it for people just like yourself. So it's one of those things that's crazy. Sometimes this community could be a little too paranoid, right?
No, I just think everybody should go ahead and do what they feel is best for them after they find out the truth about a certain thing. If you don't want TV in your house after you find out that it's a mind control tool for the elite, then fine. I agree with you. But I've always been a movie freak. And instead of, instead of disregarding that, I'm actually using that to my, to the best of my ability to expose them using their own stuff. So
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
absolutely.
It's just my thing, man, and it's always gonna be my thing. So I'm not worried about it. But I want to respond to a couple people in the chat real quick.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, man.
There's a Flat Earth meetup in Denver at Goosetown Tavern, first Wednesday of every month, I believe. So I'll make a note right now, and I'll attend that one. So you guys could look forward to me coming to the next Flat Earth meetup here in Denver. And right now, I'm building a computer to do my live streams on, a simple computer to do my Flat Earth 24/7, and I'm gonna boot that back up, and I'm gonna add my Flat Earth Discord link into it, where like somebody built a Flat Earth Discord for me. It's not really mine, but they put the idea of the Flat Earth 24/7 feed as the basis for it. So I'm gonna get back to using those things together. Pretty shortly here, probably after I wrap up the album again. So I'll get all that stuff going. Flat Earth 24/7 Discord popping off. I think it has 30,000 people. So it's a pretty big Discord. It's a great place, and it's effective for people that like to hang out in those places. So I'm gonna get that going again. Just wanted to let the people in the chat know that are talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know we haven't been really paying attention too much to the chat. This is just because we're just kind of chatting it up and hanging out. But yeah, if anyone has any questions for Matt, let us know. Write it down. Get his attention at him so he sees it, or myself, and we'll try to get to those questions so that you guys get your questions answered. But yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
I'm so excited to just, I feel so much better as of recently the past few months, and I can't wait to knock out this album. I'm going to say that it's going to be my opus magnum, my great work. It's going to be the thing that I'm known for the most, is this Never Sleep Again Part 2. And I'm going to make sure of that. But after that, dude, I'm going to go so hard. I'm going to try to reach 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That's like, there's not a lot of stuff that could stop me once I put my mind to something. So I'm like mapping out these little goals that I have. And I think it's good to do that. Everybody should write down 5 goals and then meet them. And then after you meet them, write down 5 more. But that's, yeah, man, it's going down. I'm super hype about
that's so cool to hear, and that's part of why I wanted to have this conversation, because I know that, you've been busy and but you haven't been away. You've just been, getting back. Like a lot of us, we need to take some small breaks here and there. But I think that's what people wanted to hear. I think people wanted to hear, where you're at with it, where you're going to be, where some of the things that you're looking forward to doing. And I think that's awesome. I think it would be amazing to see you cross that 1 million subscriber mark, because I think it's really hard for this, this truth movement to get somebody there, because it always seems like they're trying to knock us back down, So as long as we can all fight and stand next to each other, even if we disagree, we can at least, help spread the word of the truth, and then there's so many different truths out there that people need to hear about, because you never know which is the one that wakes them up to the rest of them. It's not just flat earth, but it could be about chemtrails. It could be about transhumanism. Like you said about, that's a guy who I want to get in touch with, is Nicholson 1964, right? That's his username.
1968. I could probably help you get a hold of him.
Sure, yeah. When I'm ready, I'm definitely I'll let you know, because man, he has so much amazing information and helped me understand a lot of stuff that I know today. And I haven't seen him put out a video in a long time, and I'm sure it's because sometimes you just get to a place where it's like, how I don't, there's not new information necessarily, so it's not like he needs to put out a video, on a weekly basis. So it would be just cool to find out where he's at and see. If you guys don't know who he is, you guys got to check out his channel, Nicholson 1968. Puts out some amazing videos that really help open up the door to the deception within the media and just this world in general.
Transhumanism is his main thing. Yeah. I want to tell a little story. It's pretty cool. So I was watching a lot of Nicholson 1968 when I was first getting going, just in 2012, 2013, 2014. A lot of Nicholson 1968. And all his videos were text, just like some dubstep music and text. You have to read it. But he would show pictures and he would show video clips and stuff like that. And I learned so much from him. And I never knew what he looked like. All he had was his avatar. That's like a half man, half machine type guy. But we started talking. He reached out to me. You used to be able to like mail each other on YouTube, like private mail. So he hit me up and he was like, hey man, I want to, so we exchanged numbers and emails and we started talking often, and he's a great guy. And he started making videos all of a sudden after I came out, obviously is when we started talking. So he had already seen a bunch of my videos, and he said that I inspired him to start coming on and vocalizing his thoughts and his work and stuff, and using his voice on his microphone. He said he never wanted to do that before, but I inspired him to do that. And he said he didn't like his voice. And I was like, dude, that's ridiculous. Nobody, don't be so self-conscious like that. You have a great voice. Just talk. It's not about that in the first place. Like, just put it out there. And, if it's the truth and it's, whatever, people are just going to listen to it. And it's easier that way too. I don't necessarily like reading my videos. So when he started making videos talking, I was like super excited. But that's just a cool story because he's a veteran. He was around a decade doing truth videos long before me. So to have him come and tell me that I inspired him to do something was just amazing. And he's a really great guy. Transhumanism, I've made 2 videos about transhumanism, and they were both inspired by him completely. So he's a really great dude, and he knows all about the iron merging with clay, which is what they say in the Bible, I think. Yes. And that's what they're talking about. The clay is the human and the iron is the mechanical, the machine. So adding machines and microchips to your clay, your body. And he's just on it. He goes so deep. It's mesmerizing. I love the dude so much.
Can you tell that quick little story on how you got him to see the light on FE?
Well, he just said that, he's always been a Christian and he's never understood what the Bible was trying to convey about the cosmology. So he just said after watching a few of my videos, he was like really interested in it. And then he started finding his own things and seeing it everywhere. He's watching music videos and he'd like just find some crazy flat earth reference in it. Somehow he would share them with me and I'd be like, wow, that's wild. And then he started finding Bible passages and stuff that, that I was unaware of, or even how to perceive the way they were written. Yeah. But he was able to come away with, this is what this means. And I never knew that. Thanks, brother. And I was like, wow, man, this is really cool to have this veteran on it. But yeah, he became he really loves the firmament, talks about that a lot when we chat. And yeah, I don't know. So everybody learns from each other, and that's what's great.
Yeah. And if you guys want to, I know you have that video posted, right, of a conversation you had with him. It was like one of your first interviews you did on your channel. You guys should go to ODD's channel and check it out. He does an interview where he interviewed Nicholson, and it's a really good. It's early on. This was early on in the.
I'll repost it. About 3 years ago, I had a breakdown and I deleted half of my videos. And then since then, I've reposted most of them. But I don't know what was going on. I started mentally feeling the heat. And I was just like, do I want to be this guy? Do I want to be out here like this, talking like this, saying these things? Having people look up to me, having people learn from me and stuff like that. I didn't know if I wanted to be that guy or be in that position. And I finally said, you know what? That's who I am. Yeah. Cat's out of the bag. I'm going. Yeah. So I reposted everything, and sometimes there's people you think it's sketchy to associate with them, and I've done work with people that I don't find too weird, but other people do. So it became like, at the time I kind of cared what people thought, which I don't anymore at all. But at the time I was like, I don't know if I want to associate with this guy, delete. Don't know if I want to associate with this guy, delete. So I was just deleting videos and being kind of stupid, but I've regained control and I'm going to put them all back out. And you see, I'm posting a lot of my videos on Facebook now. That'd be a good place to put my chat with Nicholson.
Yeah. That That would be cool. And yeah, you did. I was like, man, I'm seeing ODD everywhere. Like, and then, dude, the time you're taking to do that, that's crazy because people don't realize it takes a long time to upload videos. No matter how fast your computer is, you have to have good internet and stuff. And you're reposting in so many videos, which is cool because then I get to go back and watch videos I haven't seen in a long time. It's like, damn, this video was a banger, man. Like, God, this guy's so damn good.
That's funny. Yeah, I revisit my videos and I'm like, oh man, did I actually say all this then? I feel like I'm just still barely learning this stuff. And I was like, I sound like well versed on some of the things I'm saying back then. And I just feel like it's funny. Time flies because I didn't realize that I was already, I guess, that good at talking about certain things and whatever. But sometimes I amaze my own self. I'm like, wow, man, I put this graphic together. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah. How long do you think it took you to really get down Photoshop? Because some of your thumbnails are just like, oh man, like damn, this dude is on another level right now.
Well, so I've been an independent rapper for 20 years now. And so before I started I mean, 10 years before I started ODD TV, I was already playing with the super, super old Photoshop that booted up all super slow. And I don't know, I was just playing with it, learning how to do cool 3D text and trying to make my picture look cool because I'd always make a picture, of me like mean mugging the camera or something stupid, with the blunt in my mouth, like for like a single, like a song to post on my Reverb Nation, which was my thing at the time. So I got good at Photoshop just as far as my music goes before I ever even touched or even thought about making a truth channel.
Well, dude, that's kind of how I got with my stuff, like because I had this tech channel and I was trying to get attention onto it, get videos, people watching the videos, you start to realize like you got to spend a lot of time learning how to use this tool. And I learned how to use Photoshop, and I'm not saying like I started learning how to use Photoshop before I even got on YouTube, so it was like a little bit of a head start on being able to create a good thumbnail and stuff like that. So to me, I think I have more fun creating those things than producing videos, because I'm like, that's where my juices start going. Like, let me see how I can create this new, bro. You know how many iterations I have of just the one that people can see right now on YouTube? Like, I've made probably 10 different versions of what you guys see right now, and that's just because like once I knew that we were gonna do this, I just started like, let me get the juices going, let me work this magic and like get something that's gonna get people's attention, because it's hard to get people's attention, especially like nowadays when there's like a billion flat earth videos being out there and going into people's subscriber box. It's like you really got to do something that stands out even that much more. So I just have a lot of fun with that aspect of it. I'm at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Photoshop, but what I do know, I enjoy a lot, and I'm always learning something, especially from looking at your thumbnails and stuff. I'm like, okay, I think I know how you did that. Let me see if I can implement that, and then I'll learn it, and I'm like, yes, I got another thing down, and moving to the next thing, and it's just one of those things, and I think it's really cool to do. I really have a lot of passion when it comes to that stuff that I never would have thought I would ever have. And a lot of my best thumbnails has come on this channel over than any other channel I do have. It's like I just have more passion when it comes to this topic than I do for some of the other stuff at this point. You know what I mean? Even though I've taken a break here and there, I still always like am in the background trying to help other people get their channel started or create a banner for them or doing something. Because even if I'm not making videos, I still want to be a part of the community where I'm helping others achieve what they want to achieve. So, but a lot of that goes, like I say, a lot of that goes to, our early conversation a long time ago, where you just were willing to come on to my channel and I didn't have any subscribers. I don't even know what made you say yes. Like,
I'm not nothing special, bro. Just same as you.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't, like, if somebody were to ask me early on, I would have kind of been with my walls up, because early on for me, it was like, who can I trust, really? And
Yeah.
then you get to a point where you're just like, man, just don't worry about it. All right, just do you, and you'll be fine. But early on, I like, it was a trust issue where I just wouldn't trust a lot of people. So you kind of broke that barrier when you said yes to me to come on my show, all those years back, because that made me say, well, you know what, this guy took the time to help me out. I want to give that back to somebody else. So I started reaching out to people, helping them out whatever I can. Like, yeah, I don't have numbers like huge subscriber numbers or even view counts, but I know I do a lot in the behind the scenes that people don't really see, because I just want to help others out.
I've seen your what do you call those? The background YouTube pictures for a
Oh,
profile.
the banners.
The banners. I've seen like every time. Sometimes I'll just go to a channel, and I'll notice that you made the banner, and I'm like, oh, Carlos hooked this dude up. It's pretty cool. I think Nicholson 1968 still has yours too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't checked his channel, but yeah, man, he was one of those that inspired me. And I still look at that banner like, man, that was a pretty good banner, man. And that was when I was just really learning how to use Photoshop in that aspect. Like before it was just like simple thumbnails, but now I challenge myself. That's part of the reason why I do it, is because I try to challenge myself to improve. And one of the ways I can do it is like I'm killing two birds with one stone, which is, you know, improve, learn, and then at the same time give back to someone you know, who's got a great message to give, but they don't have the channel artwork that might attract people to it. So I'm like, I don't want that to be a stumbling block. So if I could be of assistance in that department, and I know this guy's already putting out bangers, I want to help him out, and I always try to tell people, like, you don't have to use this because I made this. Use this because you actually like it, not for me, but because you actually like it. And if it fits your style, then great. If it doesn't, then I'll do whatever you want. Like, I'll try to make it better or something like that.
You still got the experience just from playing for an hour, making the banner. So it all goes towards something anyway.
Exactly, exactly. So it's fun. Like I said, I enjoy that aspect of it, and it's just, each each of us can do something like that would go a long way in people's lives, and it definitely does help. Um, I got my man Nate Wolf over here, Fire for Truth. I've helped him out. He gives me way too much credit, but he's just a good dude who has a good head on his shoulder and is constantly looking to help others himself. Like, he's constantly ministering to people and helping them. So, it was like a no brainer to help him with his. And um,
Yeah, he came out swinging too. Fired for Truth. When he came out, I heard so much about him, and he was just doing a great job. He's still going hard, which is what we need, man. Just when the alarm goes off in somebody's mind or their heart, and they feel it, and they know that we're being lied to, and we need to tell everybody we can. He's a good example of of what happens when that happens to somebody, and I think it's cool, and it's happening more and more. It just needs to keep happening, and there's actually nothing you can do about it, because once the right person finds the right information, it just triggers you it sets it off, the bomb, and you just go about it and start tearing it up, man.
So
And
true.
the more of us, the merrier.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, Man, I don't want to take up more of your time, man. It's been about an hour and a half, and uh, I don't want it to get stagnant. I just appreciate you again, man, for coming, hanging out. Thank for everybody who stopped by. Uh, I'm
You seem so cool, man. I can't wait to meet you in real life. I know it's gonna happen. So
Yeah. I wish I would have been there for at Denver, man, but the other things were popping up at the time and I couldn't do it. And yeah, I'm looking forward. Like I said, the first year when, you decided to pull out of the conference, I remember I reached out, I was like, man, one of the only reasons I really actually want to go to the conference is just to hang out with you, bro. So it'll be cool. I can't wait till we get to do a face to face, because it'll be a long time coming, and it'll be worth the wait though. So.
yeah, it's gonna be a pleasure, bro, for sure. I can't wait to meet a lot of people. I want to meet Roxanne, the globalist denier. She invited me to London.
Oh wow, that's
I
awesome.
don't think I can make it this year. I think she might have been talking about this year, but I could definitely do next year. I have two vacations from my job a year, and they're a week long, and I took both of them this year. Already set up. I'm going to Flat Camp, put on by NorCal Waters, Caleb Waters.
Oh yes.
So he's doing a flat camp in California. I'm gonna go there in August, and then in October, I'm going to Skyfall, which is Pastor Dean Odell's Truth Conference.
Oh, that's great.
You know, so I got my mind open. I want to learn more about the stuff that I'm confused about when it comes to the Bible and Christianity. I don't knock it. I don't think I'll ever be where most of the Christians are at, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I'm definitely going to keep searching until something, you know, whether it clicks or not. I'm always going to be open to it. So I'm going to go to Pastor Dean Odell's Skyfall instead of going to I chose that over the Flat Earth Conference in November put on by Robbie Davidson, only because I know all about that stuff. So I wanted to do something different.
That's man, there you go again, bro. There you go again, man. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. It's like, you know, why do what everybody else is doing? You're still trying to pursue the truth, and that's a testament to you, man. You're really, you're talking about with the day that comes that you're like there with everything, with all the stuff that you're confused about now, bro. You're gonna be a weapon that the enemy is not gonna like. I mean, you're already that guy now, but you're just gonna be at another level that's gonna be amazing to see, and that's why I'm enjoying the whole aspect of seeing your life being transformed little by little. And it's just been amazing to see. And I know a lot of people, you're definitely impacting a lot of people. Even people who, like I said, who consider themselves believer. I think you're making an impact in their lives, whether they know it or not. So thanks again, man, because you keep doing what you doing, bro.
You too, all of us, everybody in the chat, everybody that posts stuff on Instagram, Facebook, any social media, anybody that goes out every day and makes it a point to talk to at least one person. It's all of us, man. I'm only here so you can have a video to share with your family member. That's like my main goal, and that's what I want to be. I want to be the guy that's like, yo, my brother doesn't believe in this, so I'm going to show him ODD's video. That's me. That's what I'm doing. But it all matters. It matters if you're going out and you're passing out cards or you're slapping stickers on signs or bus stops or wherever. All of us make a difference, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm very excited that this is happening. This is the Great Awakening, and I couldn't be more excited to be alive right now. Like, what are the chances that we'd all be born to live in this time, to take on the biggest deception that's ever happened? You know, it's crazy, it's mind-blowing, and it's also very exciting.
That is awesome. And on that, we'll end the stream because I don't think it could get any better than that. So guys, everyone who tuned in, thank you. I'm going to fix the audio issues, whatever they were. So I'll be re-uploading this. You can always come back in another couple days and this video will be polished. Matt, thank you so much for hanging out, man. And we'll just leave it at that. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Go check out his stuff if you haven't already, which I doubt. I mean, there's no one who hasn't heard of you yet. But if you haven't, links will be in the description. And we will see you next time.
Much love, everybody.